Welcome back. All right, review number 2 of 4. So, the Islanders and the Carolina Hurricanes. This is part of the reason why I decided some years back to have a separate playlist for every series because sometimes I can't review them in a timely manner. So it's easier just to have them all in one, or their own playlist rather than one playlist. All right, so the Islanders almost pulled this off, even though they didn't play well. Like, I can't even pretend they played very well. So it's Varlamov versus Anderson in this one. There were 2 icings by the Islanders in the first minute, so that happened. There were a lot of whistles in this game. This game was a lot slower than I thought it was going to be, especially with how fast the first period was. So a net feed to Svechnikov gets picked off. There were no shots on net through the first 2.5 minutes. Burns is denied on a face-off win. Drury has a shot that's held. The Canes press 3 minutes in. There's a near miss for Jarvis. Martinook has a shot that's held. The shots are 4-0 Carolina 4 minutes into it. Teams exchange rushes. The Islanders get zone time. They're not getting shots at this point, though. Barzal fires one high. The Canes clear. The Canes press at 7 minutes. We go over 6 minutes altogether without a whistle. The time I wrote on there, it said 5 minutes, but it was 6 minutes before we saw the next whistle. Kotkaniemi throws a hit on Clutterbuck that draws some cheers. Isles still icing it a lot at this point as well. The Islanders didn't have a shot late in that second period either. And the fans booed when Varlamov's mask came off on a shot too. So anyways, Kuznetsov can't bury one in close. It's really all Canes. We then had a fight between McLean and Nason. Good tilt. First fight of the playoffs. 6:28 left. Palmieri has a shot that's held. That was the first shot on net for the Islanders in that period / in the game. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Canes press during that 4-on-4, but the Islanders blocking them out. Nelson has a rush chance that's held. Palmieri fires one from the slot, and then at 16:21 during the 5-on-4, Palmieri buries one in close. Riley and Nelson with the assists, and Riley really helped set that up nicely. It's 1-0 for the Islanders, even though they'd been outplayed pretty badly to that point. Canes look to respond, but with 2:54 left, they draw a power play. There's a shorthanded break by Horvat. He's denied there. The Canes set up. They cycle. Teravainen fans on one. There's more cycling. Gensel misses one wide. That power play's killed off. And then at 19:43, Horvat on a one-timer from the slot makes it 2-0. Barzal and Cizikas with the assists. Varlamov then denies the Canes just before the horn. So the Islanders end up being outshot 10-7 overall in that period. But, I mean, they woke up late in the period, got some good chances. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Islanders. They didn't get 7 shots for the rest of the game, though. So second period, early press by the Canes. Horvat has a rush chance that's saved. We have a power play for the Islanders. They cycle. It's cleared out. And then Lee on a backhand from in close. He scores from Pajot and Engvall at 3:54. The Islanders press for another. Things get pushed on a hold by Anderson. Shots are 4-3 for the Islanders at 6 minutes. Spoiler alert, the Islanders had 1 shot for the rest of the game. So for the next 34 minutes, they had 1 shot. So Carolina's shot suppression, absolutely spot on tonight. So Jarvis is denied on a rush. The Canes press after. There's more pressing by the Canes. The Islanders get pinned down. There's a blocker save on Stahl. Puck's finally cleared. The Canes would draw a power play. There's a good cycle. The Islanders block. Svechnikov can't bury one. That power play is killed off. There were no ref you suck chance tonight in Carolina either. Natchez has a wraparound. There's a near miss there. Natchez then has a tip shot that's held. The shots are 6-4 for Carolina with 9.5 minutes left. Natchez has a wraparound near miss. Blocks in the game are 12-6 for the Islanders at that point as well. Orlov fires one wide. The Islanders clear. Nason then has a rush chance that breaks Romanov's stick, not a stick. He wasn't carrying 2. Can't do that. Someday maybe, but not yet. Canes draw a power play, and it's already their 4th of the game. Teravainen misses one wide. The Canes cycle, and then they bury a rebound and close. And it's Teravainen that does it. So he's been all around the net tonight. Gensel and Jarvis with the assists at 13:01. Suddenly it's 3-1 in favor of the Islanders. Canes press for another. The Islanders block. There's a near miss for Gensel. The shots are 13-4 for Carolina with 4 minutes left. The Canes press with 3 minutes left. Kuznetsov fires one wide. And again, the Islanders are pinned down. There's a crossbar in the closing seconds for the Canes. The Islanders retain the lead by 2 after the second period, just barely. So we're going to the third period, and I thought, all right, you're up 3-1. Patrick Roy's your coach. You just lock it down. No. No, they didn't. So third period, early press by the Canes. There's a near miss for Clutterbuck on a net drive. Pollock gets shaken up along the boards on a Martinook hit. There's a crossbar for Gensel as the Canes press. The Islanders get pinned down again. The Canes end up drawing a power play because that's what happens. Exhausted defenders end up hooking, holding, slashing, something to get a whistle. So the Canes cycle. Natchez fires one high. Pellick clears. It's cleared again. Aho to Gensel gets blocked. Power plays. It's cleared, killed off, one shot on that power play for Carolina. Canes press some more at 7 minutes. The shots are 8-1 for the Canes at 8 minutes. And again, spoiler alert, the Islanders don't get a shot the rest of the way. The Islanders get stuck on that one shot, and then at 10:43, Jarvis gets one 5-hole from the left circle. Stahl and Shea with the assists. The Islanders then answer, but it's a high stick. So the review confirms that it's a high stick that knocked the puck in. So it looked like the Islanders got their 2-goal lead back. They didn't, and they didn't get another shot the rest of the game. Canes press with 7.5 minutes left. There's a kick save on a rush chance by Chatfield. Shots are 10-1 for Carolina with 5.5 minutes. This was just ugly. And if anything, the shots just increased in frequency from there. I felt bad for Varlamov. So with 2:49 left, the Canes call a timeout. Whatever they discussed, other teams need to talk about whatever Brindamore said to his guys, because it worked. They pulled the goalie when they did that timeout as well. The Islanders are blocking shots, but at 17:43, Sebastian Aho ties the games from Svechnikov and Jarvis. So I was thinking, great. So this is going to be overtime. I'm going to have to watch this and 2 other games at the same time and try to keep up on the notes and everything. This is going to be a challenge. And then before I could really think it through, at 17:54, on a good forecheck by Drury, Martinook gets a goal. He buries that one from the side of the net. So the Islanders call a timeout because now they're down by 1. So we've gone from the Canes calling a timeout to try to tie it. Now the Islanders are doing the same thing. The goalie pull happens with 1:40 left. And then at 19:04, the meltdown's complete. Gensel scores from Aho and Slavin, and you celebrate that. Well, I mean, first off, he turns around and kind of taunts Nelson. So Nelson cross-checks him, and it gets kind of ugly there. But I understand the Nelson cross-check a little bit, because I did think Gensel was kind of rubbing his nose in a little. I'm pretty sure it was Nelson he was doing that with. But at the same time, I mean, it's celebratory. You got to kind of turn the other way and go, all right, well, we got to come back in game 3, right? But that made it 5-3 for Carolina. That is 5 straight goals for Carolina. The Islanders lost a 3-goal lead in Raleigh. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes in the next one. Things get pushy on a hole by Varlamov. Martin kind of has a fight with Nason, but not really. And then the Canes finish up with a power play as well. So the final score in this one is 5-3 for the Carolina Hurricanes. They lead this series 2-0. I think this one, unless the Islanders win both at home, this series isn't done, but it's not far off. Shots on net, 10-7 Carolina in the first, 12-4 Carolina in the second, 17-1 Carolina in the third. Final shots, 39-12 for Carolina. Power plays, the Islanders scored on the only one they had. They would have generated more power plays. They just didn't have the puck enough. There wasn't enough pressure. Carolina 1 for 5 on their power play. The hits were 27 apiece. Varlamov saves 34-38. He was as good as he could be. Freddie Anderson might have been shaky. We'll never know. He only faced 1 shot in the last 34 minutes of the game. He saved 9 out of 12 overall. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.